Namaskar viewers, I Dr. Renu Tomar welcome you to CEC Gurukul lectures. Friends, if you remember in our previous lectures we have been discussing policies which have been provided in the education system and their impact on the education system. This was something which we have been discussing in the series of policy in Indian school education system. Continuing with the same series, friends, today we shall be discussing National Education Policy 2020. Friends, now this is not a new name because lot of discussions are going on National Education Policy 2020. It is being analyzed and evaluated by educationists, by students, by teachers, by various people just to assess that what kind of transformation or change it is going to bring to the education system. Friends, NEP 2020 is supposed to be transformational. How is it going to be transformational? How it is going to be different from the previous policy? Friend, just to retract back to the NPE 1986 which we discussed in our last lecture. How this policy is different from 1986 policy, NPE 1986 policy. It is different because in NPE the central agenda was to see to it that the equity is maintained in the education system. It was basically concerned more about providing equal opportunities to everybody, particularly to the disadvantaged group. And as far as NEP is concerned, NEP 2020 is concerned, this policy is aiming at bringing together the science and technology and the culture. It is also looking at the India from the perspective of developed nation. It has tried to cover what kind of expectation from the education system would be there in after 30 years or 40 years. So, friends, this education policy is transformational, as I have already said, because it has tried to envisage most of the things which we are facing today as well as we are supposed to face today. It has talked about how education should be transformed so that it become global in nature as well as it adhere to our civilization, it adheres to our cultural values. So, it has brought together the IT along with the cultural parameters. That is why in this policy we have talked about that how Indian languages are important from the perspective of education system and why and how they should be emphasized by educationists, by the state government, central government and various bodies which are involved in implementation of NEP 2020. So, friends, to begin the lecture on NEP 2020, first of all, let us try to find out that what has gone into, what is the background of NEP 2020. Friends, it has covered 2 lakh villages and 3,050 districts, 3050 districts, 29 states and 8 UT. The suggestions has been sought from the whole India. 26 lakh suggestions were sought. On the basis of that, this policy has been finalized. From the angle of the fact that now the student suicide rate has increased because of the stress which education is giving. That is why through this policy we have tried to replace stressful education with joyful education. Evaluation pattern has been questioned, which is based upon memorization, and new evaluation pattern has been introduced so that the real assessment of the skill, the real assessment of the parameters which are enjoyable to the students, which are relevant to the students, they can be assessed. So, friends, apart from this background, there are other points also which I would like to touch upon, that in this policy there has been a discussion about multi-entry and multi-exit. What does multi-entry and multi-exit means? Multi-entry means the student would be allowed to exit the education system, and on the basis of the credits the student has earned, he can again re-enter the education system in the same university or same college as well as different college. That is why it is multi-entry and multi-exit. That means it is not important that the student would have to enroll again in the same college or a same university or same school. The credit which has been earned by the student, they can be utilized by him in the different system as well. Apart from that, at the secondary level, students have been provided choice of subjects. Here, the policy makers have tried to get away with the division between science and humanities. They have tried to bring arts with science so that students also realize that the subjects are not being taught for the perspective of the subject, for the fact that they have to memorize or understand the subject. Subjects are being taught to the students so that they can be utilized by them in their life. So, there are going to be more choice of subjects at the secondary level, and there have been emphasis on self evaluation as well as peer evaluation and evaluation by the teacher. Friends, as all of us know, presently the evaluation is very systematic and it is being done by the centralized bodies or the governance which has been authorized to do the evaluation, and due to that there are times that the real evaluation does not go. The student is assessed by the fact that what he has understood and what he has memorized. To narrate a small story, now what we are doing in our evaluation system is, there was a jungle. In the jungle there was a school, a very posh and very good school. And most of the animals wanted that their children should go to that school. All the animals got their children enrolled in that school, and when the first semester result came, most of the animals found that their ward had failed in the parameter of climbing the tree. The elephant, when he found that his baby elephant has failed in that parameter, he thrashed him. Similarly, the giraffe was also very angry and annoyed with his child. Nobody tried to find out that whether the parameter for which the child was assessed, he or she is meant for that parameter or not. So, all animals, they were very angry with their children and they were going through the forest. It was noticed by a tree. A tree asked, "Why all of you are annoyed with your children? I can see the sullen faces of your children as well as I can see that you are very angry. What happened at school?" They said, "Our children have failed and monkey's child has topped." Then the tree asked them that what was the parameter of assessment for which your children have failed and the child of the monkey has passed. They said, "Climbing the tree." The banyan tree told them, when you are sending the child to the school where they are being assessed for the skill which is not natural to them, which they are not supposed to learn, then it is natural that they will fail. The problem is not with your children, but the problem is with the system, with the school. The problem is with you, that you are trying to assess your children for the skills which even you have not mastered, which you will also fail in the skill in which you want your children to pass. Thereby, the animals understood that they are evaluating the children on the wrong skill. So, friends, I would like to say that the present evaluation system is similar to that. We are evaluating all children on the same skills, and what is that skill? That skill is to memorize. If the child is good at memorizing, the child is rated as the topper, as a good student. Friends, this policy has tried to get away from that evaluation system, that assessment system. It has tried to do justice to the children as well as education system. Now let us talk about school education system, because this policy has been divided into four divisions, and first of the division, out of the four parts, first part which we will like to take up is school education. What are the key points of school education? 10 plus 2 pattern is replaced with 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. We will try to get into the detail what is 5, what is 3 and what is 3 and what is 4. Foundation stage is characterized by 3 years of pre-primary education till first and second class. Preparatory stage, which is 3 years, has been classified for third, fourth and fifth class. Middle stage, which is again for the 3 years, is for 6, 7 and 8 class. So friends, with this we cover 5 plus 3 plus 3. And the fourth is the secondary stage, which is for 4 years, that is class 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. The school education system has also expanded RTE. RTE, which was characterizing only the age group of 6 to 18. Now it is going to cover age group 3 to 18. That means right to education will be with the students who are in the age group 3 to 18. That also makes it necessary for the civilized society to ensure that the children are there in the school till they are 18 years of old. So what policy has tried to touch upon is that the secondary education, the senior secondary education becomes important as well as necessary for the students, because friends, till 18 years the child is supposed to do his class 12th. So here we will have most of the children doing class 12th, passing class 12th because of the provision of RTE. In addition to the midday meals, breakfast has been added. The policy has also tried to discuss that how to dropout rates should be controlled. So reducing dropout rates has also been at the center of this policy. It has also tried to work upon that. We will discuss in detail about that. To go further discussing the key points of the school education system, the early childhood education is beginning from 3 years onwards, and it has also tried to ensure equal opportunity to all, that is females, SC, ST, etc. It has also talked about pool of resources. What is pool of resources? In this policy, the formally those who are not engaged in the education system as teachers, the pool will be created for those educated young people who might be there in some different professions but can be used as resources for the education system. That pool would be maintained by various governments, state governments, district governments as well as the school management, and that pool will be utilized to ensure that education does not suffer. So thereby the community involvement will improve and increase. This policy has also worked upon recruitment of teachers, particularly the deployment and deputation of teachers. The promotion of the teacher has been ensured in the same school, because in the previous policies it was made mandatory, in the system it was made mandatory that usually to get the promotion the teacher has to leave the school and go to some other school. So, this policy is trying to ensure that the teachers who are recruited, they would also be going for in service training through different parameters, through different utilizing IT. They can be going through seminars and workshops, global as well as Indian, and they will have to enhance their education skill as well as their teaching skill. Apart from that, the teachers promotion can take place in the same school itself in which they are teaching. So, this thing has been controlled in this particular policy. At the secondary stage, as we talked before also, their students have been provided more subject choices and semester system has been introduced. Rather than having an annual system or half yearly system, a semester system has been introduced in the at the secondary stage. The level of subjects would also be having more branches. That means, not only just the subject choices will be made more open, but also level of subjects would also be increased. The role of the boards, that is the different boards, the state boards and the central boards, shall be restricted as far as assessment and evaluation of children is concerned. So, thereby scope of improvement will also be given to the students. How the students will be given scope of improvement? By having examination twice a year. So, the students can also improve their academic as well as go for various subjects which they are interested in, as well as they will be evaluated for their level of subjects. The training of teachers has been made mandatory for 50 hours. So, teacher will have to undergo training for 50 hours. That has become a mandatory part in this policy. There has been discussion on pedagogy and curriculum also. E-content shall be introduced so that the students utilize their phone, their PCs and their laptops more, and they understand that how the e-content is to be filtered to reach certain conclusions, to understand skills, to utilize that information, so that that information can be transformed into knowledge and further into skill. So, there is going to be more work on e-content. There would be virtual labs. Virtual lab has been again and again talked about in this policy. Diksha, which is very important word which has been introduced in this policy, that means digital infrastructure for knowledge and sharing. Education system, particularly the school education system, will be evolving Diksha. So, when the digital infrastructure will be in place, then naturally all the students would be able to get advantage of the e-content. Then there is going to be more emphasis on DTH channels and more emphasis on utilizing smartphones for academic improvement as well as skill learning. Central advisory boards shall be created as to advise the academicians for implementation as well as after the implementation. Another important thing which has been and again stressed in NEP 2020 is environmental education. There is going to be stress on environmental education and knowledge of India. What is knowledge of India? Knowledge of India, friends, means that the student should be knowing what India is. They has to understand that what is the culture of India. They have to understand different languages. More languages should be introduced to students so that they master more languages, so that they will be able to improve the languages as well as the learning, as it has been emphasized by various educationists before also, and in this NEP 2020 also this point has been raised, that the children who are till in the age group of 1 to 6, they can learn better in their mother tongue. That is why it is very important that mother tongue is emphasized. That is why bilingual teaching has to be introduced. 3-language formula will not be replaced, it will stay as it is, but the language the Indian languages would be emphasized in the education system as a result of NEP 2020. This is something which has been emphasized in NEP 2020. The separation of streams as we usually have, that it is humanities, then it is commerce, and then we have science. This is going to be erased as the result of NEP 2020 implementation. The streams will be merged in such a way that a child who is studying chemistry can also be studying art education. The child who is studying music can also be understanding economics. So, more options will be available as far as subjects are concerned to children. Vocational education will also be introduced. That means the children, particularly at the higher and the secondary level, will be asked to go through vocational education. They will have vocational education open to them, so that the skills can be improved for the children who have decided to go out of education system after passing the school. So, what they can do is that they can take up vocational education in school itself. Sports will also be emphasized because sports usually brings children together. So, sports is to be emphasized and it is to be used, the playfulness has to be used for learning. So, education system has to be rewritten, revived in such a manner that sports, co-curricular, extracurricular activities are utilized more, because they are supposed to be more friendly. These type of activities are supposed to be more friendly, which children enjoy. They should be utilized for the children of all age group for their learning. So, this is something which has been discussed in NEP 2020. It has also tried to emphasize on the tribal population. It has also talked about the tribal population languages. So, it is trying to cover up the languages which are being covered by tribal population. Then it has also talked about National Curriculum Framework by NCERT and the aim of NEP 2020. Friends, this is a very important remark. By 2030, there should be 100% literacy and numeracy achieved. So, this is the target of NEP 2020. Friends, we will carry on with the lecture. For the time being, Namaskar.